GPT Image 1.5 versus Nano Banana Pro. How to use OpenAI's latest update. 2 models. 2 launches. Days apart. Big claims followed fast. So did the hype. One promises speed and precision. The other promises realism and research. But here's the real question. When the hype fades and the workflow begins, which image model actually earns its place? Because marketing demos don't matter at 2 a.m. when a client wants revisions. And feature lists don't help when an edit quietly breaks a face, a label, or a map. What matters is performance under pressure, using the same prompts, the same constraints, and the same expectations. That's exactly how GPT Image 1.5 and Nano Banana Pro were tested. Same inputs, same tasks, no second chances. 5 categories were chosen because they reflect real usage, not synthetic benchmarks. Text rendering, editing precision, multi-element composition, speed and workflow efficiency, and factual accuracy. The goal wasn't to crown a winner. It was to expose strengths, weaknesses, and trade-offs, so you can decide which model actually fits the way you work. Let's start where most image models still stumble. Text, small text, dense text, multilingual text. The kind that instantly reveals whether a model understands structure or just guesses shapes. The first test was simple, but brutal. Generate a realistic grocery store receipt. Narrow thermal paper, black and white. Dense item lines, tiny footer text. The kind of image humans glance at quickly, but machines struggle to render cleanly. GPT Image 1.5 delivered a surprisingly stable result. The header was sharp. Item names stayed aligned. Prices were readable without zooming. Most importantly, the bottom of the receipt didn't fall apart. Barcode digits were legible. The authentication line and terminal details didn't dissolve into visual mush. When zoomed in, the structure held. That matters more than it sounds. Nano Banana Pro produced a similar receipt at first glance. Clean layout. Correct proportions. But when viewed full screen, its strength became obvious. The image resolution was higher. Fine details were crisper. The barcode area and footer text looked cleaner at large scale. So, which one handled text better? The answer isn't binary. GPT Image 1.5 focused on consistency and stability. Nano Banana Pro leaned into resolution and sharpness. Both passed. The difference comes down to how you use the output. Are you optimizing for legibility across sizes or for maximum clarity when zoomed? Small detail, big implication. Multilingual text was next because global content breaks weak models fast. An international food festival poster was generated with English, Spanish, and Arabic text, plus a specific date and location. GPT Image 1.5 followed the prompt cleanly. The English and Spanish text was crisp and easy to read. The Arabic script flowed correctly, with proper character connections and right-to-left direction. Even without verifying linguistic accuracy, the visual structure looked right. The overall design leaned dramatic, like a cinematic event poster. Nano Banana Pro produced a very different interpretation. Still correct, still readable, but cleaner, more illustrated, more modern. The languages were handled properly, and the date and location were placed clearly. No errors, no broken glyphs, no missing lines. At this point, the comparison stopped being technical and became aesthetic. Both models handled multilingual text well. The choice came down to style preference. And that raises a quiet but important question. When 2 models are technically capable, how much does visual voice matter to your brand? Text alone doesn't define real workflows. Editing does. Most people aren't generating images from scratch all day. They're fixing, refining, swapping, removing. And editing precision is where image models quietly fail. A portrait photo was uploaded. The instruction was strict. Replace the subject's sweater with a navy blue blazer over a white shirt. Everything else had to remain identical. Same face, same pose, same lighting, same background. GPT Image 1.5 handled this cleanly. The clothing swap looked natural. The lighting matched. The pose didn't drift. Facial details changed slightly, but not enough to break identity. The person still looked like the same human. Nano Banana Pro completed the edit, but introduced small distortions. The framing shifted. Facial proportions changed. The neck looked slightly smaller. Nothing catastrophic, but enough that you'd notice if the subject mattered. And in real projects, the subject always matters. This test made one thing clear. GPT Image 1.5 is more conservative. It changes what you ask for, and tries not to touch the rest. Nano Banana Pro is more expressive, but less restrained. Control versus freedom. Which one do you trust more? The next test raised the stakes by introducing multiple reference images. One portrait photo and 2 separate plush toys were uploaded. The task was simple to describe and hard to execute. Place both toys into the subject's hands while keeping exactly 2 arms, 2 hands, and an unchanged face. GPT Image 1.5 produced a convincing result. The toys were added naturally. The pose made sense. The face remained recognizable. If you didn't know the real size of the toys, nothing felt off. Nano Banana Pro did something interesting. It clearly understood scale better. The toys felt weighted. Their size relative to the hands looked more realistic, but facial details suffered. The eyes lost sharpness. The identity softened. Once again, the trade-off appeared. GPT Image 1.5 protected the person. Nano Banana Pro protected physical realism. Neither approach is wrong, but they serve different priorities. Object removal came next, because deleting something cleanly is often harder than adding it. The instruction was to remove 1 plush toy and keep everything else unchanged. GPT Image 1.5 removed the object almost perfectly. The surrounding area filled naturally. The pose stayed intact. The only noticeable change was a slight shift in brightness, likely a side effect of lighting reconstruction. Nano Banana Pro also removed the object successfully, but subtle facial changes appeared again. The eyes looked slightly different. The image still worked, but it drifted. At this point, a pattern was impossible to ignore. GPT Image 1.5 consistently prioritized identity stability. Nano Banana Pro consistently allowed small facial changes, even when not requested. Then came full scene composition. Complex scenes expose whether a model truly understands spatial relationships or just stacks elements loosely. A bustling outdoor marketplace was generated, with specific vendors placed left, center, and right, plus background tents and string lights. GPT Image 1.5 assembled the scene cleanly. Each element appeared where it should. The fruit vendor was clear. The textile stall was identifiable. The customer examining pottery made sense. The background stayed busy without becoming chaotic. It's the one that quietly does what you need, again and again, without breaking the things you care about. So here's the final question. Not which model looks better in demos. Not which one sounds more impressive. Which one would you trust with your real work? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.